Few war films feel as commanding and unforgettable as Patton. Released in 1970 and directed by Franklin J. Schaffner, the film tells the story of General George S. Patton, one of the most controversial and legendary military leaders of World War II. But Patton is far more than a movie about battles and military strategy. It's a character study of a man obsessed with glory, destiny, and war itself. Anchored by George C. Scott's towering performance, the film became an instant classic because it captured both the brilliance and the danger of a man who believed he was born to fight. The movie opens with one of the most iconic scenes in cinema history. Patton stands before a gigantic American flag and delivers a fierce speech about war, victory, and courage. The scene immediately establishes the film's tone: bold, intense, and unapologetically dramatic. George C. Scott dominates the screen with absolute confidence. His voice, his posture, and his piercing expressions make Patton seem larger than life, almost mythological. It's the kind of opening that grabs the audience instantly and never lets go.
I want you to remember that no bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country.
What makes Patton so compelling is the complexity of its main character. Patton is not portrayed as a simple hero. He's brilliant, charismatic, and fearless, but he's also arrogant, reckless, and deeply flawed. He believes war is humanity's greatest test, and he treats every battle like a grand piece of history unfolding before him. The film shows how Patton studies ancient warfare, quotes poetry, and even believes he fought in battles during previous lifetimes. These strange beliefs make him fascinating because he feels less like an ordinary general and more like a warrior from another era trapped in the modern world.
2,000 years ago, I was here.
George C. Scott's performance is the heart of the film. He doesn't simply imitate Patton, he transforms into him completely. Scott makes Patton intimidating one moment and strangely vulnerable the next. During battle scenes, he moves with fierce determination, barking orders and driving soldiers forward with unstoppable energy. Yet in quieter moments, the audience sees a lonely man desperate for greatness and recognition. Scott's performance is so powerful that it became one of the defining acting performances of the 1970s. Ironically, Scott refused the Academy Award for Best Actor because he disliked the competitive nature of the Oscars, a rebellious decision that somehow feels perfectly fitting for a movie about a man who refused to follow convention.
I just never wanted to be involved in that part of the business. Just not my bag. No.
Visually, Patton feels enormous in scale. The battle scenes are grand without losing their realism. Tanks roll across deserts like giant steel monsters. Explosions shake the screen, and massive armies move with frightening precision. The cinematography gives the film an epic quality, making every battlefield look beautiful and terrifying. At the same time, the movie avoids turning war into pure spectacle. Beneath the action lies a constant sense of exhaustion and destruction. Victory never feels entirely triumphant because the audience understands the human cost behind it. Jerry Goldsmith's musical score adds another layer of power to the film. The haunting trumpet theme feels almost ghostly, reflecting Patton's belief that he's connected to warriors from the past. The music gives the movie a strange sense of destiny, as though Patton is marching through history rather than simply living in it. Combined with the visuals and Scott's performance, the score helps create an atmosphere that feels both heroic and tragic. The film's ending perfectly captures its deeper message. After all the victories and speeches, Patton is eventually pushed aside politically. The great warrior who once commanded armies is left walking quietly with his dog, reflecting on how all glory is fleeting. It's a surprisingly emotional ending because it reveals the sadness beneath Patton's confidence. For all his victories, he can't escape time or history. The world is changing, and men like him no longer belong in it. In the end, Patton remains one of the greatest war films ever made, because it's about more than combat. It explores ambition, ego, destiny, and the cost of greatness. George C. Scott's unforgettable performance turns Patton into both a hero and a cautionary figure, a man whose brilliance could inspire nations, but whose obsession ultimately isolated him. Decades later, the film still feels powerful because it refuses to give easy answers. Instead, it presents a complicated man in all his contradictions and leaves audiences to decide what they truly think of him. That complexity is what makes Patton timeless.